Hello, Raj. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. Not bad, not bad. How are you?
Right. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Looking forward to getting into the 38 degrees temperature when I get there. That'll be nice. Anyway, um, I want to talk about today about challenge statements and how we actually break them down. So, do you want to just tell me what you class as a challenge statement?
I mean, it's not so much what I class; it's more what the sort of Bikal as a business class is. There's two elements to it where we think, there's a business and there's a societal cost of any operation. Sector company, obviously they're looking at the bottom line in terms of efficiency, supply chain, increasing the top line, and through to a public sector where there's more of a societal part where obviously you're trying to increase the efficiency. I said efficiency is not the right word, but you're trying to increase the experience, if you like, of the end user, which typically is a citizen or it could be a patient if it comes to the health service. So, but there's probably a combination of the two. Now there's things around like ESG and sustainability. So it's basically business and societal cost of any operation in the public and private sector.
Yeah, so that explains. But that aside, so how do you put the actual challenge statement together?
So the way that we go about it, so we work obviously with our data scientists, we work with our domain experts. You basically need to map that operation, right? And what we try and do, we categorize it into a data object, a data point, an event, or some sort of time series data, right? Okay. So we don't look at averages, right? The averages are, your sort of data mining exercise. If we can take any case, so you might have an insurance fraud department, you may have a kidney dialysis operation. If you can map a customer journey or a claimant journey or a patient journey, take an actual real case and then map that out and then assign a data object. Is it a data point? Is it an event? And it could be a series of events, right? So you have to decide what that is, and then that way you've got your detailed challenge statement, because along those points there's obviously costs,
right?
There's those inefficiencies which you can then start to target.
Right. So what exactly is a time series data? I don't quite, I've never really delved too much into this. So I can understand the data object, data points, events, but what's a time series data?
Well, so basically we say it's time series and obviously spatial, spatial temporal data. So what is the length of time between either those data points being created or those data objects interacting or the events actually taking place? Right. So if you look at something like a claim, insurance fraud claim, there's probably a time within the accident from the accident actually happening and the claim coming in. Within that time difference, is there an anomaly that can be detected to say it's fraudulent or not, right? Or give an indication that it's fraud or not, right? So they might have further analysis. With something like the giving the nephrology, the kidney dialysis example, again, that could be down to location. So if there's a series of increase, if you like, in kidney dialysis treatment, is that down to some again external factor in the environment or water or something that is affecting people's health? So there's a number of different ones that you can have there, whereas basically we're saying that time is a factor in detecting a particular outcome.
Right. So how does the HPC then help with the actual challenge statement and these sets of points that you categorized?
Okay, so as I said, we're not data mining, right? So data mining usually looks at a static scenario. So going back to things like using behavioral analysis on cars, right? So cars are traveling around a road network. Yeah. Typically, what happens is law enforcement will look at those car journeys, after the events have been recorded or reported in a criminal case. With HPC, you can look at those events in real time and process them in real time.
Right.
All right. So it's just something basically that the human could never do. Right. So HPC not only does it obviously in a faster way, but more importantly, it's able to take a number of different factors that a human would need, a longer time to do, would do it in a sequential way, and would probably miss out on certain, sets of data. Again, looking back at things like even the weather can affect, the behavior pattern of somebody, right? In terms of how they drive or how they may feel if they go to, see the doctor.
So you could have logistic companies and then able to add the weather in that. I mean, how would that kind of work?
Yeah, so logistics you'd have, let's say, driver A, driver B. Driver A in the if the weather is dry, let's say it's a sunny day, they're driving maybe more risky. But then that same driver, when it's raining, could be the safest driver because they're just a lot more cautious.
Right. So we can map out each point at that particular time.
Exactly. So you're not only mapping out that driver behavior, you're actually mapping out the driver behavior in those different environments. So you almost, having two drivers obviously as one driver. It's important purely because what the HPC enables the analytics or the operator to look at is how can you adjust someone's behavior down to the nth degree to obviously save money, to save on the challenge statement that you may be operating. So there'll be more examples as we go through. I think obviously we're talking about it today. We'll actually get the developers that we have to start actually demoing this out in a bit more detail.
Yeah. I can understand where you've got the HPC, and now you've explained to me obviously the challenge statement where we look at the different object data points, events. Where does the algorithms, the use of the specific algorithms, the data sets, how does that work along with the compute? All these
so I'm just giving it in layman terms. You're basically adding, as you add more data sets, you need to add different levels of algorithms, different processes, right? So going back to something like looking at the number plate recognition and the behavior patterns of cars, right? You may be looking at one particular use case where you're looking at dangerous driving as an example, right? So let's say dangerous driving in the wet, dangerous driving in dry conditions. There will be changes in how drivers behave in that. Then if you then add another algorithm that looks at, well, okay, those dangerous drivers, are they driving for a particular criminal act?
Right.
Okay, so you're then adding another behavioral pattern within that same use case. So the same set of data for a different use case.
Okay, so the use of these obviously says each has a specific algorithm to do a certain thing, or can
But you can combine, right? That's the whole point of HPC. One data set, then all of a sudden you can actually extract from that data set many different use cases because you've got access to this high performance compute. And you can look for things that you may not even, you might just say to the machine, you might as well just put some algorithm, say, to search for anomalies that haven't been detected. So those outcomes that you thought were coming out a certain way, they might actually be a different behavior pattern for those. So those things will actually come out more as we dig deeper into it. So we'll definitely have to have follow-up sessions, I think, in terms of this one, and explain more to the people out there how we actually put these challenge statements together, how we use data objects, data points, events, time series analysis, temporal spatial analysis, and how we, once you've constructed that map and you've got your patient journey, you've got your customer journey, your end user journey, then you're going to be in a better position to create a challenge statement.
Okay. No, I mean, like you mentioned earlier on, it's probably good to have some of the developers come on board and have sessions like this, and then explain their particular field or role in how they developed and built this. Yeah,
and how they map out challenge statement, right? I think that going back to that point, that's where I think a lot of the opportunities are missed, because we look at, a lot of companies will look at using AI as fraud. Okay, great, you can use AI to detect fraud, but detecting a certain fraud within that fraud group, unless you map that journey out and map out those different ways, the AI is not going to be as clever as you want it to be, and it's not going to be able to work sort of persistently in the background to find fraud for you.
Okay, no, that sounds great. So I'm looking forward to actually listening to the other guys speak about this, so especially the developers that we have. So it'd be great to get their insight on it. No, but thanks, Raj, for this layman's terms to me anyway. So it's good stuff. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Speak to you later.
Bye.